Hi there, it's Sally from Rickety Snippets here, and today I'm going to be making a fun Christmas box. So it's a kind of oval shape uh, box, and it's got a Christmas tree on it, and we've got some little bits of ephemera to put on the Christmas tree, and some bits to go inside as well, because it's got a pocket inside. So I've printed everything onto, well, actually I've used 160 GSM cardstock, so not a particularly thick cardstock. But if you wanted to reinforce it and use something a bit stronger, you can do. Just bear in mind it gets harder to make up the sides when you're using very thick cardstock. So you might want to use a thinner cardstock for the sides, but you could have something a bit thicker and more substantial for the top. So we've got our ephemera, we've got the bits of the box. I'm just going to point out that this piece asks you to print out 2 copies. So these are the sides of the box, and you'll need 2 copies of those. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut them all out. So just to say, the printables for this kit are available in the Rickety Snippet shop, and the link for that is below. And I'm going to start by making up the top of the box. So the bits that you need for that are 3 side pieces, the top, and you can tell which one's the top, so that everything is labelled, but if it gets separated from the label, you can tell which is which. So the top and the bottom are the same, but the bottom is slightly smaller. So you need the bigger piece for the top of the box, and the same with the insert for inside. This is a smaller piece, but it also has this piece of fur on it, because we're going to put a pocket over the top. So we've got this a Santa sack to go over the top there, and so when you put something inside, you've got this kind of fur lining on your pocket. So we'll do that in a minute. So I'm going to start by scoring right around the edge of this oval shape. So I'm going to grab my cutting mat and my scoring tool, and then I'm literally going to draw around the edge of this image, right next to the tab there, because these are going to be our folding lines. And we also want to score along the center, so the divide between these 2 images. So it's going to be the inside and outside sides of our box. And so I'm just going to score along all of those center lines. So just to say, the pieces for the side panels are marked. So these are top side panel 1 and 2, these 2 pieces. This one hasn't got a label on it because it hasn't got a tab, but you can tell that it's the right piece because the toys are the same way up. So on the bottom, the toys would be upside down. So you just want to make sure that that final piece that the toys are going in the right direction. So I'm just going to create a fold in those now that I've scored them. Put into them, back again, and then I'm just going to run over with the bone folder. And then I'm going to stick the side panels together. So I'm going to put a bit of glue on one of these tabs. And stick the next tabbed piece onto that. I want to line it up so that the bottom images are kind of almost touching. Just make sure that all of it's straight down there. That one. And then this second tab, so I'm going to put some more glue on that. And I'm going to stick that to this shorter piece, the piece without a tab on it. And I'm just going to let that dry for a little bit and work on the top of the box. So I'm going to flip this over, and you should be able to see your score line from this side. And I'm going to put some ink just kind of around that area of the score line. I'm going to flip it over again, and then I'm just going to make some cuts into these tabs. So between about 2 and 4 in on each tab. So some of the tabs are bigger than others, but just making some little teeth in there. So I'm just cutting from the edge to the edge of the image and doing my best not to go over that line. And this is just going to make it a lot easier to create that nice curved shape when we come to put our sides on. I'm going to do that right the way around. Okay, and when we've done that, I'm just going to fold these teeth inwards to create a nice curve around the edge here. And so sometimes you might get a kind of spiky bit that won't sit down nicely, so you just go back and roll your fingers over it until you get a nice edge. So once we've done that, we can put our sides on. So I'm just going to run this through my fingers a little bit to create a bit of a curve in the paper. And I'm only doing this on this side, so on the side with the toys on it, which is going to be the outside of the box. Just a little bit of a curve there, so when you stand it up, you can see it's slightly curved inwards. And I'm going to put some glue on some tabs. So I'm going to do about half of them, so glue all the way along and just kind of run the end of the glue right over all of the tabs. Okay, and I'm also going to put some glue along the bottom. So we want the edge, the pieces that have been joined together here, and then you've got the open bit at the top. And just want a good amount of glue right along that edge. You might want to do this in stages if you've got very fast drying glue. I have a little bit of time to work with mine. It takes a while, especially when it's cold like this. Okay, and then I'm going to start quite near the point, so that I don't have any joins actually on the point itself of the box. So that narrower end here. And then you just kind of offer the teeth up to the sides there. And work your way around. So the trick is to have this piece lying flat and then to rest these edges on the table, so that you get a good kind of bit of contact and everything should be all nicely lined up. If the teeth don't all stick initially, don't worry, because we can go back and put a bit more glue on them once we've got them to stick a little bit. And when you get to the point where you're going to join the two bits together, just put some glue on the inside, so that's along the edge of that first piece. And then I'm going to pull this piece inside like that, and then just put, you can see what I'm doing here, but a bit of glue, just eyeballing it really along there on the overlap. But the main thing is if you've got a bit of glue on the edge of this one, then you shouldn't get any gaps. Just hold that down for a little bit. You can always put a peg on it like that if you want to hold it. Okay. And then I'm just going to roll it on its side, and then I'm just going to run my finger along all those tabs again and squish them down a little bit. And you can see there are still some bits. Some of them have stuck quite well, but there are still some bits that haven't stuck very well. So I'm going to go around with the glue, and I'm going to put glue behind anything that hasn't stuck very well, and also put glue over the top of all of those tabs. And then I'm just going to finally put a bit of glue along all of these edges here. And a little bit kind of up the sides. Okay, and then I'm going to fold in these sides. So along that fold line that we made. And it feels like it's not going to work, but it will. And fold those in. And my fingers along the side, get them to sit down a little bit. And then when you're happy that it's all laying quite flat, you can get your bone folder. And right, so slight technical glitch there. So the microphone cut out and then the camera. So what I was about to say was run your bone folder along the inside. So when you are laying down each of your insides, you just want to, after you've kind of patted them down with your fingers and smooth them out a bit, you want to run your bone folder along them as well to create some nice smooth edges. And then you might need to pat it all into shape a little bit. And put the insert in and with the pocket on it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make up the bottom of the box in exactly the same way. So that's the bottom of the box done, so we can put two together. Yeah, and all we need to do now is to make up the wallet that's going to go inside and decorate the tree. So I think I'm going to decorate the tree first. So I've cut out all the little bits of ephemera that come with it, and we've got stars and candles and some baubles and some Christmas crackers. So I'm going to go ahead and stick some of those on. So the only thing left to do now is to make up our wallet. And I'm going to grab my cutting mat because we need to make some score lines. So I'm going to score. There are two tiny lines here, very close together. So 1, 2, 3, 4 lines along here. And then the line here between the feet and also along these tabs. So I'm not going to fold along those lines. This first one, where those lines are so close together, I'm actually just going to kind of pull them into my bone folder. Or if you've got a thin ruler, this one's a little bit thick, but do it along the ruler. So it needs to be this way. So we've got just a tiny little gusset there. I'm not going to squash that down with the bone folder. And then, so these ones, I'm just going to fold inwards. And that one can fold outwards. Just open it up again. And then, so I'm going to fold along here. And along these tabs. I'm not actually going to go over any of these with the bone folder just yet until we've pulled it all together. So I'm going to put a bit of glue on this flap here. So we're just going up to the halfway point on this one where it folds. Nice bit of glue around the edges, and then I'm just going to fold that over like that. And then bring this in and go over that with the bone folder at this point. Hopefully that'll lie nice and flat. And then we want some glue on the tabs. And I'm going to flap that up and push it into place. And just smooth it all down. And then I'm happy with that. Go over that with the bone folder as well. And we're going to put a little closure on that. So I'm just grab my rubber mat here. And we're going to make some holes in these two. So this is going to make up the closure. I put a little bit of ink around this piece. And then I'm going to grab the awl and put a hole roughly in the centre of these. If I'd wanted it really central, I could have put them one on top of another like that, but this one I think I quite like them if they're a bit off. So, and then I'm going to put them all right through to create a bigger hole like that. If you haven't got a rubber mat, you can just do that on your cutting mat. And then I'm going to grab a little tiny brad, excuse me, and I'm going to put that through the bauble first and then through the bit at the back. And open it up. Just flatten it a little bit against the mat. And then I'm going to put glue over the brad on the paper as well. We'll give it a good bit of coverage. And stick it onto our parcel flap. When that's nice and dry, you can grab a bit of thread. Got some nice Christmassy thread. Wrap it around the bauble. Take it around once or twice, whatever you prefer. And then just tuck the end under there again. There we are, got our little wallet. We'll put him in our box. Tuck him in the pocket. And this little nutcracker as well, he can sit in the pocket. And oh, I was going to put that inside the wallet, so I can go inside the wallet in a bit. There we are. So, fun one. I hope you enjoy it. And I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.